You got it? If you got a problem with that, you call me. But make it tomorrow.
Week 15, a double dose of high-octane action. If you can't wait for Sunday, today's your lucky day. It's the playoff survival. Barry is running and gunning for 2,000, while Super Dave isn't getting any younger. He's getting better. Brother Boomer tries to help.
Reliable veteran lasted 15 seasons. He ranks 11th on the all-time list for touchdown passes. And with his latest resurgence, he's leading the Lions toward a playoff spot. Another veteran quarterback who likes to see all of that. Hey, what do you think has been...
Answer this question, true or false? Only Johnny Unitas, Dan Marino, and yours truly reached 200 career touchdown passes quicker than David Krieg did. True or false?
False, Terry. I know you think of yourself very highly, but the answer to that question is Johnny Unitas, obviously, Dan Marino, and myself have got the 200 touchdown passes quicker.
Bah. By all rights, I should cancel this feature, but Craig's playing too well to do that. After a loosey-goosey stint in Seattle, and after getting squeezed out in Kansas City by Joe Montana this past offseason, Dave was free to sign with any team. And seeing that the Lions' new quarterback, Scott Mitchell, had only 7 career starts under his belt, Craig must have said to himself,
You know, they got Scott Mitchell here. I knew that coming in. And, you know, I wasn't sure how Scott was going to perform or anything, and people can get hurt. And I guess, you know, I got an opportunity because of that.
Since replacing the injured Mitchell in Week 9, there are only 2 words that describe Craig's play. Phenomenal.
I can honestly say I didn't expect him to perform as well as he did. Basically, I expected him to come in and be a little rusty.
Herman said that? Wow. He didn't expect me to do as well, huh? Well, I'm glad I surprised him in a good way.
There have been 2 knocks on Craig during his career. His play can be inconsistent. And he owns the NFL record for fumbles with 124.
No, I didn't know any of that. All I know is he's been winning for us.
Although Craig has passed for over 31,000 yards in his career, his most important stat is the number 15. His 15 years in the NFL gives the Lions some sorely needed peace of mind at the quarterback position.
Dave's always in this so-called, just a pattern, just a smooth pattern. I think that's the thing that's setting them apart from some of the other quarterbacks that we've been with.
You look at the National Football League, the teams that win down the stretch, they're teams that have that veteran quarterback in there. That's the guy that makes the big play.
That's the biggest thing, and getting the players around you to believe in you. Dave has done that, and by doing so, that only brings greatness around you.
Can he take a team to a Super Bowl? Yes, he can.
You hate to think of yourself as an overnight sensation that you worked so hard for 15 years, but I guess you could say that when you win games and get to Super Bowls, then you get some recognition. You just have to go out there and play, and hopefully my performances in the end will justify what I've done.
Yeah, I think
7 yards. Now, what New York did was they went right to an 8-man front, and Brian Washington came right up. You're going to see him show up right here. And he comes right in, and this is typical Barry Sanders. Make you stop your feet and then take it the other direction. Anytime he can get any defender to have to stop and make his mind up, he's won.
Leading rusher in the NFL.
Your 8-man fronts up, he'll have the speed to get outside and turn the corner, as you see here. And then he'll still use all that stuff inside with the moves to break something inside.
So we have seen the big play players, Sanders and Moore, figure prominently for a pickup again of 13 yards.
Well, I like what this offensive Lions is doing right now is they're really playing a nice chess game. You're going to play all those 8-man fronts, and you're going to bring people up. We're going to play action pass you. We're going to throw on first down. And then when you start to give us a little bit of a different look, we're going to keep on.
Barry Sanders, right at the goal line, makes the touchdown catch. And that is his first touchdown reception of the year, and the Lions get a score.
This is all on Dave Krieg, because what he did was he improvised. You want to watch? Right here is where he improvised. He feels the pressure. Now let your legs buy you some time. And everybody coming back to the football, nicely thrown ball to Sanders, just sneaks it in the corner.
Sanders with the touchdown catch. Krieg now 9 for 11.
You know, all it takes is one missed tackle, or you overrun right there if you're logging him. You don't hold backside, and now it's a foot race. And nobody's going to catch this guy to the corner. You know, Ronnie dives, misses him, and that's a big first down.
14 yards for Barry Sanders, who now has 54 yards rushing in the game.
Once he gets that corner, I mean, you know, you're going to pick up at least 15. Now watch, he about vision. Take it wherever he wants to go. Now once he beats Washington, who doesn't hold that contain, he's down the field. Watch this. You look what he sees. I mean, only Barry Sanders knows where this ball is going. I don't even think he knows until he gets there.
77 yards on the day for Barry Sanders. Lions yard.
Well, that didn't take him long to drop that number. He went from 89 to 60 just like that. Watch the hole inside. Bowens does a good job. Lynch again with a block, and then he runs right by it. Right here, Marvin Jones. See that? That's a tackle that should be made, and it isn't. And once he's in the secondary, this is tough. Great job by Hasty of buying time and allowing Ronnie Lott to get over there just by playing cat and mouse.
Coach was certainly not beaming when Detroit's number 91, Robert Porcher, registered an easy quarterback sack. By the time this game was over, Carroll probably had a good scowl going, since Detroit's offense proved not as susceptible to flaw. The Lions led the entire game thanks to 4 field goals and Barry Sanders' first touchdown catch of the year.
Right, he's got Barry out in front, and Barry Sanders catches touchdown Lions. Right at the
Detroit will need Sanders to keep scoring any way he can if they want to beat the Vikings this week.
One of the stuff
in the projects of Danville, Virginia, where Herman Moore was born and raised, the stories of failure, hopelessness, crime, and violence are hardly urban cliches.
Herman Moore to the near side.
These simply were the realities of Moore's youth: guns, drugs, and alcohol.
Moore up and grabs it and takes it in.
Yet rather than succumb to these mean streets, Herman Moore found a way to rise above them.
Touchdown, Lions, Herman Moore.
I saw people get shot. I saw people get cut up. I saw people just physically just get beaten. Bad. I'm talking blood and everything. It taught me how to survive life and how to go out and not take anything for granted, and to go out and cherish every day of your life, and to more or less not take what's just given to you. You have to go out and take the initiative to make things happen.
And that's exactly what Herman did. He won an athletic scholarship to the University of Virginia, and it was there, among the pastoral setting of Thomas Jefferson School, that Herman Moore's life took shape. He was unwilling to settle for the stereotypical life of a college jock. Instead, Moore absorbed all that UVA's intellectual atmosphere had to offer: art, music, academics, and athletics. In short, Herman Moore had grown up. The kid from the Danville projects had become a Renaissance man.
You start to explore other sides to you, and you start to bring out diversity. And I think a lot of people are afraid to explore that other side of themselves, and by doing that, I think you never really use fully your mind.
Moore developed a love for the arts, the cinema, and especially literature. How many football players can recite from memory Edgar Allan Poe?
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over a many quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
But the Renaissance man is also a tremendous football player, one of the NFL's best big play pass catchers, tied for second among league receivers with 11 touchdowns. But he's been overshadowed by the great Barry Sanders.
You have to be patient. You have to realize that Barry's the star of the town. And Barry's the guy who can elevate this offense to a totally different level.
He definitely takes heat off of me. I think if you look at the Buffalo game, when they came into the game with the mindset of just stopping the run, and we were able to get some very big pass plays on him that, you know, allowed us to win the game.
Moore defies another stereotype of a poverty-stricken background, that of the broken family.
He's not afraid to, you know, just be a father and be my friend. You know, of all things, I would say, more than even being a husband, Herman is my best friend. She's given me something that I would have never imagined I have, and that's just a beautiful family, a wonderful life. And I don't know, it's just, she's one of those people that I just admire and I respect.
If Michelangelo was the leader of his era, maybe Herman Moore is helping to create a new renaissance.
It's the power of knowledge. A lot of people just don't realize that the mind is the most powerful thing that you're given. Despite, you see some guys who are physically intimidating, who are big, if that person is mindless, then they're far less superior than you would think. They're more or less inferior to a person who has a mind and has creativity.
And when it comes to creativity, Herman Moore is a work of art in body and soul.
Time. Quarter and a gain of 17. Well, Matt Millen, he's caught 2, and he's got good gains on both of them.
Yeah, and he's taking that ball right over to the sideline. He'll take that thing right up to Canton, and he deserves it. And the interesting thing is, he said last night speaking to him, he said, you know, there's 3 guys who could break Sterling Sharp's record this year. He said Jerry Rice is a guy. The man just knows how to set his things up, gets a nice block start from Lynch, and then he just makes people stop his feet. Watch Lynch right on the side. He's going to get a block right over here. And then he's going to see, look at a nice block right here, a takedown. Now watch Mel Gray set people up. There's the first setup, makes Robert Smith miss. Now watch him move the kicker's feet. Turn back inside. Now watch the cut back. Unbelievable. This is stuff you don't teach. This is stuff you just sit back and appreciate.
His 3rd kickoff return for a touchdown this year, and the
Massey is one of those players, a smart guy, understands the scheme, always around the football. You can see it's just batted in the air by Broderick Thomas, and then Massey's the guy who's there, and he makes the catch. When God created Barry Sanders, even he didn't know what he made.
8-yard gain out of nothing. 9 tackles missed in 9 rushes today for Barry Sanders. From Southern Cal.
He took one right in the kisser from Betsy Glenn, and an outstanding job of holding on to that thing. Well, you're a #1 pick for a reason. Johnny Morton's just whetting your appetite. Watch the job of holding on to the ball. First the time to block, taking care of Randall and Thomas. Now watch the hit. Boink, right in the kisser. Boy, that's a big-time play.
Johnny Morton, an 18-yard touchdown catch, and I believe only his 2nd reception of the season. And Jason Hansen for the point after. Couple of pumps from Dave Krieg. And the Lions lead with 2:49 remaining.
That Hinton had to block down, and he was at a disadvantage because position-wise, Pritchett had already beat him inside. And where Moon wanted to look, Milton Mack and Willie Clay worked a beautiful coverage.
Loss of 12 yards and a big gain for Herman Moore, the biggest of the game of 50 yards.
You can throw that ball 50 yards and step into it because you've got great protection up front. And again, Randall and Thomas, Sean Bowens with a great job, and then they just give him all the time in the world, and he can step all of that 200 pounds into that ball, and that allows this catch to happen.
Wayne Washington and Betsy Glenn defending. And they might have gone for the Barry Sanders play.
I've run out of adjectives to use for Sanders. Watch the genius of Barry Sanders. So much of this is just on his own. And once he's out in the open field, you cannot be hesitant because he'll make you miss.
That is his 5th touchdown rushing. This year, they take him out in goal line situation.
How the heck he gets there, but he's always there.
It's a good arm. Touchdown for Sanders. No flags. "64 yards for the touchdown by Barry Sanders. Gives him 111 on the day. He's amazing. 6 times he has had runs of 60 or more yards. The rest of the league, only 3.
Well, it goes without saying he got a great couple of blocks up front, like Glover, Waddell, and Bowers.
Jason Hansen, for first place in the NFC Central Division, leads the Minnesota Vikings 34-19.
Watch the blocking up front. These 3 guys right inside. Nice job by Glover. Tremendous job by Lynch of sealing. And then again, the wide receiver coming on the crack back to Dwayne Washington. And once he makes Todd Scott miss, that's 64 yards. There's nobody on the field is going to catch him. The thing with Barry Sanders is it always starts with the feet, because he's got those beautiful, sweet feet, and then the vision to go with it. And I'll tell you, that's a sight that you don't want to look at, the back of Sanders' jersey.
10 times this year, Barry Sanders has gained over 100 yards in a game. He came in needing 270 yards, needs to average 140 yards a game to reach the 2,000 mark. That was coming into this game. He's got one erection,
and he has savvy. All this does, this play turns into a long handoff for Barry Sanders. Krieg knows what he has, and more important, he knows how to use it.
Barry will get a much-needed breather on the sideline, and Derek Moore will replace him. 106 yards rushing, 27 catches. And the pass, caught, touchdown to Carter. And a flag is thrown right now, well after the pass.
I think that's going to be on John Randall. I think he took a poke at the referee, and that could be Carter's in the game for a reason. Watch Herman clear. Carter comes right back underneath.
How good does Anthony Carter feel, a 9-year veteran of the Minnesota Vikings?
Not today. It's a Saturday. It's a Sunday game they count. Saturday
doesn't count it. Oh, let's watch the kickoff from the 45-yard line, on a tee, we might add.
Hey, get a little bit of extra boost, but this thing hits the crossbar. Look at that, boink. Goes right in.
As Randall leaves the stadium, you see 93 leaving. By the way, Anthony Carter, that touchdown pass was the first snap he took today. So long from the Pontiac Silverdome. Lions win it 41-19. Coming up next on the NASDAQ Stock Market Postgame Report, JB Terry Howie.
Over the Minnesota Vikings, and it was indeed a record-breaking day on both sides of the ball, Terry.
Chris Carter coming to the top right of your screen on a crossing route. This is his 113th reception on the season, breaking a 1-year-old record held by Sterling Sharp of Green Bay. Take it, Howie.
Mel Gray on a 98-yard kickoff return, a familiar sight. Mel, one of the great kickoff returners in the NFL, ties a record held by Ollie Matson, breaks the game wide open. In for the score.
How do you do it, man?
It's scary.
Then Warren Moon, we see, is injured here. Looks as though on the replay he has an ankle, but the reports later were that Warren did have a sprained left knee.
Jimmy Johnson talked about Barry Sanders not necessarily hitting the hole straight. This is one time that Barry Sanders went straight to the hole.
Take it, Jimmy. Barry Sanders.
Well, just a great back. He hits the hole, one of the few designated holes that he has to run in. But look, he's veering off to the left. He cannot even run straight when he's right there in the open field. 10 more yards, he'd have been out of bounds.
And then defensive tackle Randall, there you see the left arm goes up, hits umpire Dennis Riggs. 15-yard penalty and an automatic ejection from the football game.
Before you attack him yet, you can bet your bottom dollar Detroit's going to try to find a way to fit him in under that cap. Had a great year for them.
I tell you what, right now, Minnesota is looking.
Getting psyched, aren't you? Dolphins, Lions, Christmas night on ESPN. Miami can sew up the East with a...
Looking at all the great players that have played the game, and only 2 having reached that mark. Obviously, you know, they didn't do it by themselves, but you know, it's a big honor.
Christmas night in Miami with a crowd of 75,000 and a playoff atmosphere to see the Lions and the Dolphins on Sunday night, NFL. Call them the Lion-hearted. Once counted among the dead, Detroit has roared back to the playoff pack with hopes of a division title still alive. But the Lion of Lions has a date with history, and all eyes are upon him. Barry Sanders is approaching the hallowed ground of 2,000 yards, and tonight is the night.
I'm going to try my best to get as many yards as I can, and if I get to 2,000 yards, I'm not going to stop there.
One thing you have to remember is that the Central Division title in the NFC is ours, and it will be ours until somebody comes up and takes it.
It's a prelude to the playoffs on Sunday night, NFL. Cheering on Johnny Morton with the kickoff return. Gray has done it 6 times in his brilliant career. And Morton goes for 93. What a huge lift for the Lions. They get a touchdown on the kickoff return.
They needed it. They have had great plays. The defense created a turnover. The special teams has given them a play now. It's up to the offense the second half to come back. Johnny Morton, he's going to be special. I mean, this is a guy who all he does is make plays. Last week, he makes a tough touchdown reception. Now he returns one back for a Johnny Morton. This is from our goalpost cam. You just follow him up to the sidelines. He does an excellent job of following his blockers. But watch what Derek Moore does, number 31. He is just working Stoyanovich over, and he allows Johnny Morton to stay down the sideline. That was a big key. Keep an eye. You see the ball, but keep an eye on number 31. Watch number 31 get out in front. There's Johnny. There's 31. There's Derek Moore. He hits Stoyanovich once, but he doesn't go down. He hits him again. And Morton just keeps on running.
The Lions have scored 10 points in this game. They do not have a first down.
I know.
A field goal after a turnover and a kickoff return.
That gets a little scary when you're the defensive coach, who's done a great job, Tom Olivedani. He's got...
Streaking is Tony Martin to the 20, to the 10. He scores!
Super Bowl 29 will be at Joe Robbie Stadium, the park we're looking at this evening. I tell you, the stadium's been upside down this year. There have been 10 years of highlights in this season alone. The Hoss and Art Shell. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Vince, it's your job. How about the Bears' single wing formation and a field goal attempt? Curtis Conway, normally wide receiver, your basic pass to Jerry Fontenot, which is tipped to teammate Keith Jennings for your routine 6-yard touchdown pass. Sunday night on ESPN 3 weeks ago, Don beep, after it goes doink, doink, off for a pair of Dolphins. It got the Bills going. Andre Reed imitated Oscar Robertson with a long down-court pass to Billy Brooks. And then even when the Dolphins laid the lumber like this stick, and you know, Jourdain, Mike Dumas was there. What a night it was for the Buffalo Bills. But it wasn't all opponents. Marino to Keith Jackson and Ward Nelly. They about the hook and ladder to Irving Fryer. 2 weeks ago on Monday night, Gene Atkins to Troy Vincent. Excuse me, Mr. Referee. Excuse me, Kansas City Chiefs. We just could go all the way. A big reason why the Dolphins are steamrolling toward the Eastern Crown. As for prime time, lots more to his campaign than just a left to the face and a right to the jaw and a standing 8 count against Bad Moon.
Peddling goes George. And he throws. Intercepted. Is he inbounds? Dion down the right side. Yes.
Forrest Gump will catch the bus before the Saints catch Deion Sanders.
He can high step this one half the field. He waits to the 10, though, and walks into the end zone.
You want finishes? We got finishes. Week 15, Troy Aikman, Jay Novacek. But the Cowboys just inches short against the Browns to the chagrin of Barry Switzer. Week 16, Brett Favre. What a way to send off County Stadium. Favre just inches long against the Falcons. This is the reason the Pack is in the playoffs. Play of the year. Week 13, Dan Marino, the clock play. The Jets a half a minute out of first place. Instead, the Jets went to sleep, but Mark Ingram was wide awake. Game of the year, Week 7, Monday night at Mile High. John Elway touchdown, minute and a half to go. The Broncos lead the boom Chiefs. But Joe Montana to Willie Davis. He's done this countless times to prove again that he just ain't no ordinary Joe. The jaw dropper of the year, Week 8, Rams at Saints.
It'll be the Rams football at their own 20-yard line. And now, Robert Bailey bringing it back to... Johnny Bailey did not call for a fair catch, and Bailey's going all the way for the touchdown. But let's see what the officials say.
Yeah.
It is a touchdown. Oh, my goodness, I don't believe it.
Halftime, Miami 20.
There is nobody there, but he finds a little side door and leaks outside. And that's something that Coach Olivadotti was concerned about, his ability to hit the corners and leak outside the pursuit. Play, he tries to break down, like Coach said. Give me a good fundamental breakdown, except Barry just runs away from him.
11.
Acceleration out of it just makes everybody freeze. Doug Waddell, number 67, does a good job on Cox, allowing David Krieg a place to go. Hey, why not? On 3rd down and 13, get the ball to Barry. Now watch the freeze right here. That hesitation right there just stopped every Dolphin defender in their tracks. David Krieg doing a terrific job engineering that drive. That time Matthews beat Muhammad Oliver just on the inside of the quick post. He makes the move inside. Good job by the line.
And that's the first touchdown the
Old Santa Claus himself, and they're running.
Here comes Sparkling Rusty to the outside for Santa Claus. They've stuck ahead in front.
Kind of a down year, though, on the whole. He locked out the reindeer, so he was flying himself and sometimes swimming. And then facing the dribbling Elvises. This is a charge right here. Call this. Sometimes all the NBA highlights look like this.
Today's Best is brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate.
By number 80, a 46-yard gain.
Reggie White did his part. David Krieg did his part. Somebody blew the coverage. They turned a man loose.
Watch this grab by Perriman. This is the first big play for the Lions offense. Can they build off it? As the third quarter comes comes to an end. Watch Gray, a little misstep, and now it opens up on the right side. And 24, Hauk, you will see him in pursuit. He eventually is going to get over behind Jackie and get him out of bounds. Back with the final 15 minutes after a word from our ABC stations.
Have to get the ball to Herman. Flag down.
2 of them. Personal foul. They get it into the hands of Brett Perriman. And now there's trouble over there on the far side. Now the flags are going to come down. George T.
Tight one-on-one bump and run coverage. Inside slot man breaking with the corner.
Number 80 on the offense. 15
Nice
yards will be on the kickoff.
Now we'll stay with it because they're where it is. You see, Teague was down, and Perriman spikes the ball at his feet and then barks at him, and this is why the flag was thrown. So the touchdown counts. That's the important thing for Lions.
Which this entire season has never been given much attention, and Sunday was never given much a chance. Wet, wild, you need the towel. 62 degrees in Pittsburgh. Neil O'Donnell facing the league's top rushing D, led by Junior Seau. O'Donnell, favorite target this season, John L. Williams. 16 yards later, he's in at 7-0, a 7.5-minute drive. The vaunted Steeler D gave up only 46 yards in the first half. First and goal on the 3, and Atron Means nowhere to go. He had 69 yards on 20 carries. Means again, second and goal, stopped by Levon Kirkland. He led the Steelers with 10 tackles. Third and goal, Means into his own lineman, Joe Kokozo, who got stood up by Leon Searcy. Chargers settled for a field goal, 10-3 Steelers at the half. Bobby Ross's team had the ball for less than 8 of the 30 minutes in the first half. Humphreys 1 of 5 in the first half, third quarter, not good. Picked off by Rod Woodson. It would lead to a field goal, 13-3 Steelers. The 61,000 plus thinking about ring number 5. 8:03 left in the third, 13-3. The blitz. How do you forget about Al Papuno? His longest play from scrimmage had been 25 yards. That TD, good for 43. The play fake, the blitz, it caused everybody to end up in pursuit, and they couldn't catch Papuno. Chargers GM, Bobby Bethard, been to the Super Bowl with the Skins and Fins. Big game for Seau. Watch him pursue Foster, makes the tackle. He had 16. Here at his shoulder again, didn't miss the play. Humphreys, Tony Martin covered by two-time Super Bowl winner Tim McKyer, 43-yard touchdown, 17-13. Chargers are in front. The Steelers get the ball back with just over 3 to go. First play of the drive, O'Donnell. Eric Green caught 4 passes for 80 yards. Third down now. O'Donnell gets protection. Green gets open again. First down. Bill Arnsparger's D is bending big time. Next play, O'Donnell. Green to the 9. O'Donnell had thrown for over 200 yards 3 times this season, well into the 3s now. From first and goal to fourth and goal. From the 2, the Steelers need a touchdown. O'Donnell looking over the middle. Foster's open. No! Knocked down by Dennis Gibson, who made 2 key plays in the final series, and the Chargers hang on and win it. O'Donnell, a record-setting, heartbreaking loss. Chris Mims take this towel, and Tim McKyer, the man beaten on the final TD, had to be taken off by the paramedics. O'Donnell's passing attempts and TDs, well, it breaks the number set by Joe Namath in 68. His 32 completions breaks the one set by Bernie Kosar in 87. Chargers stifled the Blitzburg D, allowing only 1 sack. Following the game, obscenities ringing through the Steelers locker room. Kevin Green swore at a TV crew, and then Neil O'Donnell, well, he swears he made the right decision on the final play.
It came down to that last final play, and I think the guy 57 made a pretty good play. Getting his finger in there. Barry told me it was about an inch. And he said 1 more inch, and we would have had it.
They had 2 big plays that accounted for 14 of their points, and they made the plays when they had to, and we didn't. And so you take your hat off to their offense, and you go back to the drawing board next year.
The touchdown to Al Papuno. I think that play got us back in there 13-10, got us into a situation to where got our sidelines back into it, got us to believe in that, hey, we've come back from before. This is just another time, and that touchdown, I think, got everything back going for us.
All week long, we got disrespected. They were planning Super Bowl videos, Super Bowl parties. We got disrespected from San Diego to Pittsburgh, But, we stuck with it. We believed in ourselves. We knew what we can do. We got one obstacle left. It's going to be a big one, but we're going to stick together, because you got to believe.
All right, O'Donnell's records were for passing attempts, not touchdowns. Now check out the number 1.
who, to be honest, was burned often most of the day. This one goes the other way for 6, and San Francisco leads at 7-0. It would become 21-0 just like this. Steve Young, a terrific afternoon and a great year. To Ricky Waters for the touchdown. This was the backbreaker, though. Seconds left in the first half, just a 10-point game when the Cowboys let Jerry Rice get away somehow. Young hits him for 28 yards. It's 31-14 at intermission. Cowboys fought back, got within 10, but on their last chance, 4th down, they can't quite pick it up. And the 49ers finally get to celebrate in the Steve Young era, headed for their first post-Montana Super Bowl.
We've gone through all kinds of emotions. You can imagine the uphill battles that have been fought, and it's just a great feeling to wander around and enjoy it with the fans. I mean, they expected a lot from us this year, as they have every year, and they're tough on us, and we're tough on ourselves. And
you gave us a try, now hit subscribe. Be sure to YouTube responsibly and hit that like button if you like what you see, because there's plenty of content to come.